Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of Business Talks. I am your host, Chawanne Burns. In today's video, we are going to discuss Thornton Township. They did have a board meeting a couple of days ago. So we're going to discuss to that. It was a very short board meeting, but I do want to highlight Tiffany's extreme supporters always find themselves speaking, and I don't know why, speaking at the board meeting, calling everybody else out, besides calling Tiffany Henyard out on her wrongdoing. So we're going to discuss that. And also Keith Freeman, he appeared in front of the judge and he put in a plea. He put in a plea of not guilty on his bankruptcy fraud case. Wonder why he did that. Everybody knows he's guilty. So we have that to discuss and much, much more today on today's episode of Business Talk. So you guys. Something like this. Looks a little bit like I can't miss. Hey, this is what you call a bad. What? This is what you call a bad. Looks a little something like this. Looks a little bit like I can't miss. Hey, this is what you call a bad. What? This is what you call a bad. You guys put in the chat, let me know where you're viewing from. Put in the chat, let me know where you're viewing from. I see we have Kennard, the DJ, in the building from Chicago. What is good? Noble Young, it's good to see you. Francesca, it is good to see you. And Stephen from Long Island, New York, it is good. What is good? You guys make sure you put in the chat. Let me know where you're viewing from. It's AJC is here from Southern Illinois. And let's see who else we got in the building. Nobody? Nope. I see we got some listeners, but no. Oh, maybe my computer is slow. Nurse Patty, Riverdale, Illinois. Good to see you. Courtney, it is good to see you from South Howland. Eric from Philly. John Luna watching from Sulphur, Louisiana. Nurse Petty. Thank you so much. You guys, shout out to all my moderators. Please hit that like and subscribe button. Make sure you share this video. Lincoln from San Antonio and Alonzo, DC is in the house. What is good? John QQ. What is good from New York State? Okay. So your boy Keith Freeman, we're going to talk about that story first. Then we're going to get into the Thornton Township meeting. Your boy appeared in front of the judge. I think it was yesterday or the day before yesterday. And he put in a plea of not guilty. I'm lost for words. Keith Freeman, thief Keith Freeman, got caught red-handed. So I don't understand why he put in a not guilty plea. Okay. I really don't understand that. And he is acting as if he is not, he's not going to be charged with other crimes. I'm pretty sure they will be charging him with other crimes. But his lawyer spoke to the press. And he was saying, oh, he hasn't did anything wrong. He has the right to put a plea in not guilty, which he does. And he doesn't know if he will be charged with other crimes. That's what one of the news reporters was asking him. Let me make sure that you guys can see my screen. There you go. Anyway, so this is the news report.
Only 2 words and repeated yes ma'am to the federal judge when she asked if he understood that federal bankruptcy fraud charge against him. This afternoon, the South Suburban Village Administrator says he's not guilty.
Just out of his first federal court appearance, the physically towering Dalton and Thornton Township manager Keith Freeman stood beside his defense attorney, silent and defiant.
My reaction off the top is, I'm giving a press conference on a bankruptcy indictment, and that's what this case is, and that's how we're going to defend it.
A federal indictment filed last week accuses the South Suburban administrator of lying about his employment and income when filing for personal bankruptcy earlier this year. Prosecutors say Freeman claimed under oath he was not an employee of Dalton and that he did not receive payment from Dalton. A month later, the indictment says his Dalton paycheck went directly into a newly opened, undisclosed bank account.
That doesn't make it anything other than a bankruptcy case. There are plenty of public officials in many situations who are hardworking and struggling during tough times, and seek redress through the courts.
We do a lot of great things in our township.
A close ally of embattled Mayor Tiffany Henyard, Keith Freeman has now been named in multiple lawsuits alleging improper termination by Dalton employees and withholding a business license. He's now pleaded not guilty before a federal judge for personal bankruptcy fraud, but the indictment against Keith Freeman said the federal charge was part of a, quote, ongoing investigation.
I suggest you ask the government about that.
Do you anticipate more charges coming against your client?
Right now, I can't say it either way.
This afternoon, Keith Freeman left the courthouse with his attorney. His attorney says Freeman intends to stay on and active as the village manager in both Dalton and Thornton Township.
You guys hear that?
He's due back here in court at the beginning of June. We're live at the federal courthouse. Liz Nagy, ABC 7 Eyewitness News.
This fool is planning to stay active in or as the administrator as Thornton Township and the village of Dalton. This is what I was mentioning before. Keith Freeman and Tiffany Henyard, you're gonna actually have to force them out. They're not gonna go away. You're not gonna, even the charges that's against them, they're not going to be removed just because they have criminal charges against them. You literally will have to drag them out. Keith Freeman and Tiffany Henyard. And Tiffany Henyard, like I said, Tiffany Henyard has plenty of opportunities to say, oh, I'm going to stand up for the people. This is one of the opportunities that she's missing. She could have fired Keith Freeman. She could have did that. And she could have, I guess, forced Holmes to step down. But she refuses to do the right thing. Reason why I'm saying Tiffany Henyard, she's the leader. She's supposedly be the leader in this situation. So since these people are under her leadership, she needs to fire them. But she refuses to do so. You guys put in chat, let me know what you think about that. AJC, Keith, go buy a suit that fits you too short, but be broke. That's too yeah, and somebody says, or Caroline said, oh, I believe he got a PPP loan for sure. Yeah, you know he did. On his bankruptcy, and it looks like it was a PPP loan, he has to pay it back. Probably because he fraudulently got the loan. So that's one of the people that he owes. It's the SBA. And it sounds like the money, like $1,500 he had to, or $10,000 or whatever the money was, he has to pay that back. But he filed bankruptcy. But someone needs to tell Keith Freeman, just because you filed bankruptcy, your taxes, student loans, SBA loans, you have to pay them back still. So why file bankruptcy? You know, and those were the biggest amounts on his bankruptcy filing. Anyway, let's go to Burgundy Blue. Burgundy Blue commentary. Shout out to Burgundy Blue. If you guys don't follow her, make sure you follow her. She does live in Thornton Township, so she was able to share Thornton Township meeting that happened a couple of days ago. Okay. And this guy that's speaking now, he's always coming up. His name is Michael White. He's always there speaking up for Tiffany. Always.
My first comments, they are questions, but they're comments because I know they probably won't answer by Trustee Gonzalez. But my first question is, are you planning on running for alderman in Calumet City with Thaddeus Strong? Is that why you come week after week and vote no on the bills? Secondly, you second the motion for Supervisor Henyard to be our supervisor. Why did you talk against her if you supported it? The other question is it because maybe you didn't get contracts that you were looking for to do work in the village of Dalton? The second thing is, why do you vote no on the bills? Those bills do include payments. That's for you as a trustee. I'm pretty sure those detail your payroll, and you continually get paid, but you vote no on the bills. Secondly, as well as you stop services, that's for the residents of this township. Senior services, youth services, but every week you vote no. I think you shouldn't get paid as a trustee for that. The second thing is, is our township assessor still having her office in Calumet City Hall? I believe that is illegal, and she should be here at the township. Some of the things I think that the news media didn't get to hear at the annual town hall meeting was that that we had a surplus here in Thornton Township, and I think that needed to be talked about. I found an article that was in the HR Chronicle, which is home with Flossmoor, and they talked about the $11.2 million that was in the, I'm sorry, it was $4.2 million surplus here in Thornton Township. I never heard the news media discuss that. Let the residents know that we have a surplus. We have been running a deficit for years, and it took our supervisor to come in was to have a surplus. That was talked about. As well as for the entire budget, the general fund.
I want to point out, he's saying the surplus is from this fictitious $16 million grant, this grant that she claims that she has, that she received, these federal dollars that Tiffany Henyard claims that the Thornton Township received. It's like $16 million or something, or it might be $6 million. You guys put it in chat. I know she claims to receive or claims to, the money is on the way. And this is what this surplus, that's why they're saying, oh, we're working, the deficit, it's no longer a deficit. We're working, our budget is at a surplus. But Tiffany, you never received those dollars. Where are they? Where is the dollars? You never received them. So she has this guy. I think Michael White probably calls Tiffany. Oh, what you want me to talk about today? Call Tiffany and Keith Freeman. What you want to talk about today? Oh, make sure you mention that we working in the surplus and it's because of me and I saved the leadership. If you hired a guy that doesn't know how to deal with money, an administrator. So we know personally, you don't know how to deal with money. It's in your reputation. So why are you having this guy and has an extensive criminal past, allegedly? We'll talk about it right after this. You have him speaking up in the meeting for you to claim that there's a surplus and you haven't shown any receipts for this surplus. Nobody know where this money is coming from, but you're working in a surplus. And you continue to tell your people, oh, put that $6 million or whatever type of grant is, make sure you put that in the budget because it's an operating budget. They took it down. I received the budget from one of I think it was the Village of Dalton, and something is wrong with their accounting. But they took it down. I wasn't able to take a screenshot. And I noticed that they put actuals and versus, what is it? Actuals and what is the other line called? Like estimates, actuals and estimates. But they put, and this is another, I guess, grant they were supposed to receive. They put it in the wrong line item, like it was revenues. They put it under the line item of revenues or something else they put, but it was wrong. And I was thinking to myself, like, Tanjanique Miller is supposed to be a graduate from this college that we probably can't prove that she actually graduated with a finance degree, but she's supposed to be a graduate. She's the finance director, and she's actually budgeting the items wrong. It's really ridiculous. Anyway, this guy, Michael Smith is calling out Gonzalez during a meeting.
There was $6.1 million surplus that was never talked about. But that article is in the Homewood Chronicle. You can look it up. They talked about it. Our local newspapers never talked about it. The local news never talked about it. So kudos to the supervisor, as well as those trustees that do support the things that are going on for putting the township in a surplus, which hasn't been for years. Thank you.
So you see him. Now, let me just show you or share with you how crazy this guy is. And I guess he's running for some type of trustee, or maybe he did ran and he lost because they pulled up his record. I'm assuming it was in Riverdale somewhere. But yeah, he's running. For the village of Riverdale as a trustee. And they got, I'm assuming this is an old mug shot of him. It's an old mug shot, but this is Michael Smith, a former Village of Dixmoor trustee, Michael Smith. So he wants to run for Riverdale as well. So back in 2011, now this is all allegedly, I didn't type this up. I didn't even do a background check. Michael Smith is a common name, so I need to get more information like his date of birth and all that stuff to actually do a background check on him. But they're saying that in 2011, Trustee Smith was arrested by the Village of Dixmoor police for reckless driving and resisting arrest. That's not a big deal. Okay, he resisted arrest. Trustee Smith arrested for disorderly conduct and obstruction and resisting arrest. So he has a pattern for resisting arrest. So I said the first one wasn't a big deal, but the second one, okay, you like to resist arrest. But anyway, maybe driving while black. You know how back in the day you say driving while black. Or maybe he's a victim of driving while black. 2012, Trustee Smith pleaded guilty to theft after being charged with stealing gasoline. He stole gasoline from the Village of Dixmoor. Smith had to resign his trustee position as a part of a plea agreement. I don't know. I'm not in I am not in the Village of Dixmoor. I'm assuming maybe Dixmoor has their own pump, maybe for the police station or whatever. Maybe they have their own gasoline pump. So maybe that was the circumstances. So maybe he was filling up his personal vehicle and using, using the city's gasoline. But you stole gasoline. Come on, dude. That's like crackhead stuff. You're stealing gasoline. That was in 2012. In 2012 again, Trustee Smith was arrested by the Village of Dixmoor police for domestic battery to his elderly aunt. And you're beating up old people. Do you really want this man in as a trustee? You literally post the key word to the position is trust. Trust. You should be able to trust him. In 2014, Trustee Smith arrested for aggravated assault for allegedly assaulting the Village of Dixmoor police officer. Now you're assaulting police officers. So you just don't have no standards or anything. First you beat up your old aunt, and now you assaulting police officers. It's escalating. You guys know how they say, you start off with petty crimes, then you escalate to more violent crimes. He is the classic example of he's escalating to violent criminal activity. Okay, so it says 2014, this is May. Trustee Smith arrested by Village of Dixmoor police for criminal damage to government property. It sounds like he has anger issues. So what, I don't know what the details in that, but he was arrested for damaging criminal government property. Now, in 2015, Trustee Smith was arrested by the Village of Dixmoor police for unlawful violation of a protection order. So I don't know if any of these incidents had any to do with this protection order, but he violated protection order and he resisted arrest again. It's like, you ain't gonna take me alive. Like, come on, dude. And then this last one, I think this is the last one. It says Trustee Smith arrested by the village of Riverdale police for filing a false police report. So you're trying to get the law on your side and you filing false police report, probably because you're trying to hide some of the criminal activities that you have done. And that's what I think. Okay. This is all allegedly. This is all allegedly. You guys. Now that's your Michael Smith. So he showed up to the meeting. He showed up to the meeting. He showed up to the meeting and he's trying to call everybody else out, but he's a criminal. So, like I said, this is a pattern that Tiffany Henyard has displayed. She loves criminals. Okay. Criminals. Let's listen to who else is going to speak at
Keith Price.
Now we got Keith Price. He's over the food pantry. Can anybody tell me, is he actually passing out food or is he eating the food? Keith Price, come on now. It seems like he's getting bigger. Like this doesn't make any sense. But he's always showing up to the meeting to defend your girl Tiffany.
Good evening, everyone. It's ironic I didn't know exactly what Mike was going to discuss. But this
You guys make sure the volume's okay. Put it in the chat.
First
Let
of
me
all,
make sure. I want to make
compliment
sure the volume's
the
okay.
supervisor and the board for two years in a row of being in the black. When the supervisor came in, it was almost budget time, so the numbers were pretty much the numbers. She took over, I think it was a $4.6 million deficit. I ran the numbers from 2017 to current. There was a deficit every year since 2017. No one has discussed that. It's never been mentioned. The last 2 years, we have a surplus, and these are audited reports. You can all look them up online.
So Keith Price and Michael Smith and your girl Tiffany Henyard and maybe Keith Freeman got together and said, and the guy who's over the budget got together and said, oh, these are the talking points we want you to talk about. This is what we want you to say. And they're literally regurgitating the same thing. They didn't have the forethought or the wherewithal to say, oh, if you're going to talk about that, I'm not going to talk about that. I'll let you cover that. Let's highlight something else that she's done good. No, they both are talking about the same damn thing, which is stupid.
The other thing I wanted to do was compliment the staff. I did it in private. I didn't have the opportunity to do it publicly. But during the annual meeting, there seemed to be a planned attack to stop that meeting, which would have stopped a hell of a lot of services for seniors that depend on it. They tried to table the whole process, which would have probably stopped a lot of money from coming into Thornton Township. The staff did a great job holding their composure. So I really wanted to get kudos. It was a very hostile environment last meeting, for the annual meeting, I should say. And I just want to thank everybody for keeping it cool and no one making us look bad or the supervisor or the board as a staff. Nowhere have I seen a meeting where so much disruption was allowed intentionally by the moderator. She actually thought it was funny. She was up there laughing. It was a planned attack so that these numbers and the fact that this township is finally back in the black after 2 years. Don't believe me? Look it up online. The type of attack that we're seeing strictly off of allegations is unheard of. I really thought this was America. I can't even say guilty until proven innocent, because that's what it seems like. You're supposed to be innocent until proven guilty, but there's not even any charges filed. So, I mean, I just hope the public really see that this is a power grab for the Southland, and it's being controlled by legislators from Springfield. I'm sure all that will come out. Many of the people that was at that meeting worked for the Senator Napoleon Harris, that's Stephanie, and many other people. And I'd just like to get one more thing out. When I came here 2 years ago, the gas cards, thank you all. The gas cards for the district, they were spending over $5,000 a month on gas. Since we've gotten here, it's $1,200 to $1,600 a month. These are all things that can be proven. There's a lot of savings that no one's talking about. Thank you.
All right.
So Keith Price, like I said, he they got together and they said, okay, we're going to talk about this. We're going to talk about the budget. I'm going to pull up the gas cards. Last meeting was a big mess, our annual meeting, and it was the moderator fault. They was talking about Stephanie Wyman because she thought it was funny. No, she probably did think it was funny, but the problem is with that. Okay, you were on a plan of attack too. It's not like you didn't create a hostile environment for the other residents. So what are you saying? And it was mentioned in the last meeting that one of the "don't pray for me" guy, he hit somebody. He hit a woman in the front row, and they had to escort him out. I'll pull up that post later, but that's what happened in the meeting. He's a Tiffany Henyard supporter too. So you guys like to go around threatening people. Keith Price, fat ass, goes around threatening people. He goes around threatening women. He won't threaten no man. No, he's not going to threaten a man. They go around threatening women and I guess old people. Michael White, Keith Price, and the minister, the good old minister.
Right, next we have reports and presentations. We're going to hear from our finance director, Robert Hunt. First, he's going to talk about the budget for the general fund, general assistance, and road bridge.
Good evening, everyone. I present to you the annual budget. This is a 52-page document. This is going to sit for 30 days. It's going to be available at the clerk's office. And we're also trying to put this online if you can download this too. But pretty much it's going to, when you look at this, it has a budget message, it has a mission statement, organizational chart, a lot of detailed information in his report. And also in the back pages, you will see actuals for 2023, actuals from last year, and our proposed budget. If anyone have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. There's a lot of information. We email this to you maybe Friday or Monday, and then it's also available. But this will sit for 30 days, and then we're going to vote for this. But this report, this 52-page report, includes the general fund, general assistance fund, and road and bridge fund. Any question right now? Or?
All right. Thank you. Next is approval of minutes. Is there a motion to approve minutes of the board meeting held on April 9, 2024 at 6 p.m.? Is there a motion? Is there a second? The motion is second. Any discussion? Call roll.
Trustee Gray Everett? Trustee Carlisle?
Yes.
Trustee Gonzalez?
Yes.
Trustee Jones? Supervisor Henyard?
Yes.
Motion passed.
Next is old business, approval of bills. Is there a motion to approve the general fund? Is there a second? The motion is second. Any discussion? Call roll.
Trustee Carlisle?
Yes.
Trustee Gray Everett? Trustee Gonzalez?
No.
Trustee Jones? Supervisor Henyard?
Yes.
Motion passed.
Is there a motion to approve the general assistance fund?
It's 27.
Mayor Henyard, you have a minute to talk to ABC 7 about the FBI investigation. Mayor, you have a message for the people.
So I fast forwarded. I didn't want to go through the whole meeting. They were doing whatever budgetary items. You see, the reporter was trying to question her about the FBI concerns or the FBI probe, and she skedaddled. She left the building really fast. Hey, do you want the tea? Get it from me, Miss Tiffany Henyard. You should answer the questions. Why? What's the problem with it? Answer them. But instead she ran off and hid like a little roach when you turn the lights on. That's what Tiffany did. The lights went on. Tiffany Henyard, she scattered like a roach. Okay, remember I mentioned that someone physically assaulted, hit a lady in the front row at the last meeting. This at the township and Thornton Township annual meeting. Paul Roberts posted this on Facebook. During April 9th, Thornton Township annual town meeting, the moderator had to interrupt the proceedings to ask his security to intervene after she saw a man seated in the front row hit a woman seated near him. Keith Price, who sat next to the assailant, quickly walked to the back of the room. Keith Freeman tried to intervene between the security guard and the assailant. Why? I don't know who he struck, but I have confirmed with a resident and a poster in this group that the assailant was none other than the member of the board of directors of Tiffany Henyard's Care Foundation, who simultaneously draws salaries from both Village of Dalton and Thornton Township. William, don't pray for me no more. William Moore, that's the guy who hit the resident, but they don't know who the resident was. And Keith Freeman, goofy ass Keith Freeman, was trying to step or intervene in between the security officer and him. For what? Why are you trying to protect him? He hit a woman. These are some shitty ass people. I don't know how you guys could deal with this. These are some shitty ass people, some shitty ass men, some shitty ass people. Tiffany Henyard loves these type of people. So she needs to go. Her days are numbered. Okay. Her days are numbered, and I'm not going to talk about her no more. Well, today. I'm not going to talk about her no more today. Okay. That's all I got to say about that. You guys put it in the chat and let me know what you think. You guys put it in the chat. Delacreme. They make the most elementary mistakes. They do. John Luna said, yes, Chawanne, the POS mayor may have received it, but it never got to the citizens. Either that, the Ike trustee, or like the trustee Brown said, she said she got the bag, but the bag must be empty. Exactly. The bag must be empty. This was horrible. I've seen, and I got to pull it up. I don't have it up on my screen right now, but you know, the guy who was fussing about the how the township owes him a lot of money and is drawing interest. I guess somebody gave him a check and it bounced. It bounced. He cashed several checks and they all bounced. Remember the guy that came to the secret squirrel meeting and said, hey, where's my money at? I think he trimmed trees or he does something. I'm not for sure what he did for the township, but it was a pretty hefty bill. And it's, I guess with the interest, it ended up being $400,000 something odd dollars. And I guess they gave him a check and the check bounced. To me, that's ridiculous. So like I said, that's all I got to say about that. Chawanne, William didn't actually hit the woman. She said that he turned around and accidentally elbowed her and her phone knocked on the floor. Okay, so this is a rumor that they're, well, you know, some people make stuff up out of nothing. Anyway, God I'm just reading some of your tweets. James Stewart would not be considered fraud since they knew it would bounce. God love, sorry again, family. I'm just trying to get my daughter home. You know, God love, this is not a charity event, so we're gonna have to, Alexi, some of my moderators, we're not doing charity events. And I don't know God love, so I'm sorry, we're gonna have to kick you out the chat. But if you want to support the channel, you can always cash out you can always cash at me. You could always cash out at me. Anyway, so that, like I said, that's all I'm going to say about that today. Today, we're not going to talk about Keith Freeman anymore or the village of Dalton. That's just today. One other story before I get offline, you guys. There's, let me see if I can find there's a thing going on and it's erupting. Remember on Monday, we talked about Ilhan Omar's daughter being kicked out the university. And then the university did kind of like a about face and said, oh no, we're not going to kick her out, only if she's able to get past this probationary period. We won't put nothing on her record. Okay, so Ilhan Omar's daughter, they sparked a protest, a pro-Palestine or pro-Palestinian protest, and they're saying that they want a ceasefire, and they're totally against whatever. So now it's starting to be an uprising against all college universities across the nation. And this is what they're doing. They're calling in the National Guard and police, state troopers, and to control the crowd because it's getting kind of crazy. This is in Texas. You want to stop violence. And I don't see nobody getting beat down or anything. They pushing and shoving each other, but You want to stop violence. You want to be peaceful in your protests. Why wouldn't you just, stage a silent stage? This is what I'm thinking. Hey, we're against war. Okay, we're against war. We want to stage a protest, but how can we make a good impact on our protests? I'm just thinking, brainstorming, you guys. Why wouldn't you have a silent protest and just sit there and not do anything and sing happy songs? But no, you're just running around like crazy people. People are pushing and shoving, and there's no type of organization with this protest. You don't hear nobody chanting anything. It's just, oh, I'm out here. Let's push and shove. And we don't want the security guards to touch us, or police officers to touch us. So they're pushing and shoving. What is this going to solve anything? I don't think so. But anyway. What are they doing now? Staging tents. They have their Walmart bags and they're staging tents. This is not as crazy as what I've seen. I saw this other protest. To me, I thought it was hilarious. This. Now, you guys, you might be like, Chawanne, they're just kids, blah, blah, blah. But to me, I mean, I think our kids are getting, the generations are getting like less IQ as time goes, because this shit is stupid. This is the most stupidest thing I ever seen. I can't help but laugh, but you guys look at this. What's so crazy about it is you're outside and you got a goddamn mask on. Like, what the hell is going on? And you stepping. You're stepping for what? What are you stepping for? This is a protest. I can't stop laughing because I think it's so funny. Yeah, you know what it reminds me of? Have you guys ever seen that one guy who, since everybody dance in front on TikTok and they dance, but he takes the music out and you could hear the people shuffling and just clapping. That's what it reminds me. You just hear the squeaky nose, the tennis shoes squeaking on the floor, and the people clapping and go like, ooh, ah, ooh, ah. That's what... oh my God. You guys put in the chat. Do you think this is this will be like a protest? Remember, this is one for the memory book. Remember that protest that happened in 2024? Woo! Those protesters were crazy. Anyway, this other story I gotta share with you guys. Let me just look at some of your tweets. No, we're not at war. No, we're not. But I guess you could say we're at war. We're funding it. So we're funding the war. They just, my last stream yesterday, we talked about how Joe Biden signed a bill. He's sending $63 billion to Ukraine. And then I think it was like $20 billion to Israel. So yeah, if we're funding the war, I guess essentially we are in this war. So that's a good point. This is a good point. Many universities, college campuses in the US erupt every spring before graduation. Why are we surprised? It's not a surprise. I don't think it's surprising. I think it's funny though. Anyway, one of the two things: one, they disappear every single file, records, documents affiliated with a corruption made it, or they are so sure that they are really touched for God for the field safety. Yeah. Anyway, so on this news article, they said 108 protesters arrested, 4 officers injured at a pro-Palestinian encampment cleared at Emerson College. This is what's going on here.
I'm so disappointed.
Tell us there was word spread. Antoinette, we spent the morning speaking with a lot of students, including student journalists here at Emerson. They tell us there was word spreading last night in the encampment that there would be arrests, and in the end, 108 people were taken away in handcuffs. After 3 days of demonstrations, protests, and calls for a ceasefire in Gaza, Boston police made sure there would not be a fourth. As officers entered this alley on Emerson's campus just before 2 a.m. and started removing students.
I saw one student get shoved into the pavement.
Being there and seeing the people standing around me getting dragged to the ground, getting arrested, it was horrifying.
Boston police say they arrested 108 people, charging them with trespassing and disturbing the peace. Students took over this alley on Sunday, setting up their own encampment after more than 100 people were arrested at Columbia University 1 week ago today.
It's kind of hard to talk about it because you're seeing your fellow students and you're seeing your community members essentially get violently arrested.
So far, BPD and Emerson officials have not explained why officers moved in, but Emerson's president, Jay Bernhard, previously said the Boylston Place alley has a public right-of-way requirement to the non-Emerson buildings in the area and is a fire alley under the jurisdiction of the Boston Police Department.
It was horrific. I knew a lot of the people down there. I mean, I was down there myself sometimes.
Classes are now canceled for the day as students wait for answers, arraignments, and accountability they say the Emerson community needs to move forward.
I'm so disappointed in the Emerson administration. We feel like the administration failed to protect us.
Now, boss.
Look, you're not a child. This is what causation has a reaction. Or you cause these things, the police is going to react to it. So you're not a child. They don't need to protect you when you are committing a crime. So next time you guys stage your protests, maybe you stage a lawful protest and don't set up an encampment in a damn alleyway, so cars won't be able to get through. So they don't need to protect you. You should protect yourself. But that's part of, growing up. Okay, maybe I went through this one protest. Maybe I don't need to go to that protest, or they're gonna be acting rowdy. I'm not in for it. So maybe I'll sit this one out. I mean, but you're chatting free Palestine, and Palestine, they don't even like you. I've seen countless of videos of Palestinian women saying, yeah, or in men saying, yeah, we don't like gays. It's against their, religion. They don't like black people. If you know any Palestinians, they do not like black people. But you could see a whole bunch of black people in this audience saying free Palestinians. They don't trust the white man. But you see a whole bunch of white folks, free Palestine. So you're upset with the administration, but you need to face the facts that you're protesting for some country that is unequivocally anti-American, an anti-American country. They don't like Americans. Anyway.
Some police say 4 of their officers were injured, all of them with non-life-threatening injuries. We spoke with one student who says she knows of at least one protester who is hospitalized. So far, no word from Emerson officials other than classes being canceled for the day. Reporting live in Boston, Matt Reed, WCVB News Center 5.
Yeah, so they're canceling classes. I believe that you can't just go to a college and you say, hey, I'm going to pick up this protest and act like an ass or set up encampment where you're not supposed to set encampments at. You're violating the rules and regulations. I'm sorry. That's what happens. You get arrested. That's a taste of a reality. Anyway. One more thing before I get off this protest. Get offline. The judge, what is her name? Ketanji Brown. She's one of those judges that Joe Biden appointed. And she mentioned, let me see if I could pull that up. I think I saved it. Now, they're ruling on Trump. They're making a decision on Trump whether or not to give him immunity on this Jack Smith case. I guess these document cases. They're saying that he stole documents from the White House, and Joe Biden, I guess he stole documents from the White House too, as well. They found a whole bunch of documents in his house, but Robert Hur, this special prosecutor, said, hey, we're going to give Joe Biden a pass because of his old age. But we know Joe Biden took the documents because he was writing this book, this memoir. So I guess for memory recall, he needed to take some of the documents, but these were secret documents. Anyway, they let him go. So Ketanji Brown was saying, hey, we might, let me see if this is, we might set a precedent if we say, what's his name, Donald Trump is not immune. Well, then we open the gate to Joe Biden. They might come after him after he's out of office. Let me make sure you guys can see this. Okay, yeah, you can see it. So it says Justice Jackson suggests Trump claims risks turning Oval Office into seat of criminality. Why is it doing that? Why is it doing that? Supreme Court Justice Ketanji Brown seemed to reject arguments from former President Trump attorney Thursday that the justice must distinguish between personal and official acts to determine whether the president could be prosecuted, warned the claims threatened turn the Oval Office in the seat of criminality. The court heard oral arguments Thursday for Trump's immunity case, in which the former president's claimed he cannot be prosecuted for alleged crimes committed while he was in office, arguing that the legal liability limits the president's ability to act. Jackson noted that the presidents have access to the best attorneys in the world to determine whether any of their actions are lawful. Why will we have a situation in which we would say that the president should be making official acts without any responsibility for following the law? She later said that she was concerned by Trump's arguments that the president might be chilled in office if they must fear prosecution after they leave. I think that we will have to really significant opposite problem if someone with those kinds of powers, the most powerful person in the world with the greatest amount of authority, could go into office knowing that there will be no potential penalty for committing crimes. And then she says, I'm trying to understand what the disincentive is from turning the Oval Office into, the seat of criminal activity in this country. The Supreme Court arguments come after the federal special counsel charged Trump with multiple felonies and alleged he assisted efforts to overturn the 2020 election results. Trump's attorney have claimed innocence, and adding former president's actions were also protected by office. Liberal justice appeared critical of Trump argument Thursday, with Justice Sonia Sotomayor quizzing the former president's attorney over the legal liability and the president were to have someone killed in the office. That could be an official act, Trump attorney John Sawyer said, referring to assassination of a political rival. Okay, I think they're going a little bit too far. Trump's arguments have previously been rejected by two lower courts. The case marks the first time injustice considered appealing, arising one of the Trump's 4 criminal indictments, and their decisions could dictate whether or not a trial ever reach a jury. This is really not the post I was looking for. It was something else. Supreme Court Justice turned blah, 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 blah. But anyway, so is this it? No, it's not it. Anyway, so I don't know why this article didn't mention what I was talking about. But anyway, like I said, they're deciding whether or not if Trump is actually immune or he has immunity in some of these claims. But I don't know if they're going to side with him or not. We don't know. It's up in the air. They might side with him because, like I said, if you think about it, then you're leaving the door open for them to prosecute, what's the guy's name? Joe Biden. And he's sitting in office right now. And he had a whole bunch of documents. Documents and they decided not to prosecute him. Okay, so that's it for our live stream, you guys. Make sure you tune in. You want to subscribe to the channel, like and share this video. Tune in tomorrow. We're going to discuss Flint water crisis. Actually, I'm a guest on a podcast. I'll share the link with you guys once it's uploaded. But the podcaster name, we're comparing Flint water crisis, or Flint, what is it called? City council and their politicians. We're comparing that to Dalton. We're trying to see which one is worse. I think Flint got him beat. So tomorrow I'm going to talk about Flint, not only Flint water crisis, some of the criminal activities that's been going on with the city council and the mayor of Flint. Okay, so I'll be talking about that. And it's called The Snow Show, but he's a podcaster. He's based out of Flint, Michigan as well. But if you guys give him a follow he's mainly on Facebook. Okay, so it's called Flint After Dark. Flint After Dark. That's the social media page on Facebook. So I'll be on his podcast. We're filming it tomorrow, so I think he's uploading it on Sunday. So that's that. Okay. So I appreciate every single last one of you guys. John Luna, thank you for the super chat. Sorry, I just now said. I have to get back in the field. Your channel is one of my faves. I try to catch whatever live streams I can. Love your point of view and your laugh. Keep up the great work. Stay safe. Thank you. Thank you, John Luna. And we also have another super chat, Lamar Copeland. Lamar, I totally agree with you. We do have some of the best moderators in the world. Yes, we do. Thank you. Thank you to all my moderators. All right, you guys. I am sending all my good to you, and I will talk to you soon.